Well, it's winter here.
Right. Alright, Morgana.
I thought you were better than that. Or do you think you'll get something out of this? Well, you're sorely mistaken. Sorry about that. You've forgotten what you truly are. And gotten into your head you can be equals with him. Your heart brims with blight. Yet here you are, grasping at companionship, knowing full well it's but a fleeting illusion. What do you have to gain from forging a friendship with him? Already tired of me, are you, my dear? Very well. I shall take my leave. Despite what they may say, I'm a very kind-hearted girl. To those whose fates are sealed, that is. I pray you're blessed with wonderful dreams tonight.
That night, I had a dream. Not a nightmare, nor a dream of the past. A warm, pleasant, slightly bittersweet dream. I hadn't had one like this in quite some time. An endless field stretched out before us. We pushed our way through the sea of waist-high grass, pressing onward towards the ever-distant horizon. A spring breeze whizzed past, caressing my cheek. At my side stood a man, beaming as bright as the sun. Had hair of deep scarlet, and the color of the setting sun. His eyes were unflinching, his lips showing his strong resolve. His chest was smooth and muscular, and he had a musky scent. My first time seeing his face, but I knew exactly who he was.
Not much farther now.
The man spoke.
Oh, Paradise is just up ahead.
His lips curled up. It was a smile that might look condescending on any other face, but on his, it seemed perfectly natural, not a trace of disdain. In fact, anything but a cocky smirk would have seemed out of place, which made reality that much more bitter.
Here on the other side of the sea, in this beautiful land, no one will think less of us for anything. If someone happens to find out about you, no one's gonna make a big deal out of it. And no one's gonna be afraid of my disease.
I was well aware of the fact it was a dream. I thought it a rather cruel one. Imeon was right. I did love adventure stories, and I did want to go on one of my own. This was the very thing I had wished for since I was a child. Two men setting out together, free from obligations, on a journey to see the world, exploring the unknown and sharing that experience with a dear friend. But it could never happen. Not so long as I was who I was. And not so long as Imeon was sick and on the verge of death. It was a dream we could never make come true, no matter how badly we wanted it, no matter how hard we fought for it. It was an entirely possible dream, though. There's one part of it that could become reality. The two of us becoming friends. There's probably enough time before he died for me to get close enough to tell him how it really felt. I just wanted a friend. I wanted to be able to laugh and frown and get upset like an ordinary guy. Like him. There may be time, but that's not enough. I spent too much of my life isolated, had almost irreversibly adapted to the solitude. Breaking through that shell would be no easy task, especially not with my unspeakable secret hovering over me. The very fact my nature, which had transformed me from a namesake of an angel into an abominable demon that didn't deserve to live. Something I couldn't tell anyone. Couldn't let anyone find out. Which meant that a normal friendship was impossible for me to form. I knew that far too well. Imeon.
That night, I had a dream. Not a nightmare, nor a dream of the past. A warm, pleasant, slightly bittersweet dream. I had one like this in quite some time. An endless field spread out before us. We pushed our way through the sea of waist-high grass, pressing onwards toward the ever-distant horizon. A spring breeze whispered past, caressing my stick. At my side stood a man with a somewhat forlorn look on his face. He had long, silver hair that fluttered in the wind. The darkness was visible beneath the pale red of his eyes, and his lips were folded into a half skull. He was tall enough that I had to look up at him. The man furrowed his brow, as if to scorn the shining sun for daring to be brighter than the candlelight he was so used to. It was my first time getting a good look at him. I might have gotten some of the smaller details wrong, but he was still very distinctly the Michel I knew. I pointed towards the horizon and said, "That's where our paradise awaits." I didn't seem to believe we would actually find anything, but still, he joined me on my endless journey with nary a complaint. So, all it takes is bringing him into my dreams to drag the cynicism out of him, I thought. Then, with a laugh, I said, "We would make a pretty good friends, don't you think?" His eyes swam from a fulfillment before he finally muttered a response.
Many years ago, I dreamed of having something like that.
You gotta be a little more specific.
Like my two brothers.
Keep going.
Someone I could share anything with. Could do the same with me. Someone who understands me without need of words.
The classic image of a friend. Two guys who've always got each other's back. Michel crossed his arms and turned his head away. It might have even blushed, but I couldn't see for sure. I had mixed feelings, though mostly I was glad to hear he felt that way, and I want to make the dream come true. We'll be like that. You see, buddy. Not the breath of wind blow past. I was pretty sure I was smiling. The way I always did. The way I always pretended to. Myself, confident, utterly vacuous, smoke. As we really got to know each other. There was no way we'd ever be friends. True friendship was impossible to achieve between us. And I knew that aren't you well?
I woke in darkness, and a house where the time of day held no meaning. The same sight awaited me every morning. Before I'd grown fully accustomed to a world without light, the uncertainty of it had occasionally morphed into fear. My instincts reacting, I presumed. Danger is harder to perceive in the dark, after all. But once I'd gotten used to it, the darkness felt almost compassionate with its indiscriminating embrace. And now, I was more stable here than I was in the light. This morning was an unusually pleasant one, though. All my problems were still problems. My curses still curses. But I felt like I had managed to break the surface and catch my breath for the first time in who knew how many years. Perhaps I could thank the dream I had. I rolled out of bed, grabbed the candlestick off my nightstand. With the remains of the mostly melted old one, I lit a new candle and headed for the door. Next on my list was the fireplace. I tried to make sure there was always at least a small flame in it. As soon as I stepped out into the hall, what are you doing there? I found myself face to face with Imeon. No, that was an entirely accurate description, as he was slouched against the wall across from my door.
Morning, Michel.
I couldn't help but cringe at the sight of him, still insisting on keeping up his everything is alright act. What are you doing?
Send bread over to me.
Well, it isn't to me. You're clearly in no condition to be walking around.
It's calm.
What ass?
My time.
The light from the candle fluttered about, slightly offset from the trembling of my bony hand. But Imeon, who was visibly shaking, enough that I probably could have seen it even without the dim candlelight. Not without a fear or cold, but simply a physiological reaction to his condition. His breath sounded like puffs of wind, the whoosh of a bitter winter morning echoing in the hall. His arms and legs were so atrophied that if I didn't know better, I'd think him a small tree withering away in the fierce cold at first glance. My gaze slowly drifted downward, stopping at his displayed arms. Blotches of red were visible in the palms of his hands. Did you cough that up? I almost reflexively made to draw nearer, but he stopped me after only one step.
Don't touch me! If I catch it.
We've been living here together, breathing the same air. If I were going to catch it, I would have already. The fact that I haven't shows that it's not an infectious disease.
Maybe. No. Either way, you should have touched no, as well as I know that's a clean out of and that says maybe you can't just hold and everything else.
Say your... I stopped myself before finishing the sentence, realizing just how foolish it would make me sound. I was when I told him to leave when he knew his time was up. But that was back then. That was just how I felt when he first showed up.
If I'm really lucky, I have maybe a couple days left. Hiding it. But it's like really hard to even stand those last days.
He did a terrible job of it. Although, I didn't realize we were in quite such bad shape.
Well, I guess I got an essay score on my acting then.
I can laugh about this.
I'm a great mod.
That's ridiculous. It can't be. Just drop the act already.
It's not act bad. I'm great. I had a fantastic time. And what better way to show that than with a nice laugh?
Looking down, this man laughing as death crept closer. I didn't feel pity or sorrow or anguish. I was angry. My chest clenched, my stomach lurched. How aggravating. There's something else there, too. Some other way I could describe it. But I didn't know what the feeling was. I couldn't draw it to the surface. It was aggravating, frustrating, sickening. Those simple negative emotions were what I kept falling back to. I wanted to block it all out. Imeon's deteriorating body, that comforting dream, my own circumstances, this dark mansion, the whole world.
I had an amazing time here with you. Seriously.
Stop it. You're just getting sentimental. Letting your emotions cloud your memory. I've done nothing for you. Think about your time before you got sick. When you were with your friends and family. Think about the time you spent traveling. Did you realize how insignificant your time here really was?
It was all a lie.
What?
I was never a traveler. My name isn't even Imeon. I never went to the Northlands. And never goes home to days. Even what is said about having a German friend. All lies. Here's the truth. I look like I came from the slums now. But I was born into a decently upper-class family. My father and brothers all owned several estates. I wasn't traveling when I got back. But at home. And for a while, I was kept locked up. Keep it the ops. I spent my life doing everything asked of me for them, and they turned me in. I caught a snap disease. But they don't respect me. The brothers are so lonely. They wasn't lonely. You don't want me anymore. And before long, I started saying it was punishment for my transgressions. That I was cursed to transform into a hideous monster. Because I'd solved it. Well, family, huh? This disease hadn't progressed as far then either. So I still look well. Half decent, at least. A pretty damn good-looking guy, if I do say so myself. So I used that to manipulate one of the maidservants into helping me escape. And that's how my life as a nomad really began. So, I was something of a traveler. I was carrying some pretty big luggage along with me. Everywhere I went, I was treated like garbage. The Imeon you met, brimming with self-confidence, was all an act. I'm sorry for lying to you.
Why?
Why'd I pretend to be someone I'm not? Because...
No, I don't care about that. Why didn't you say something sooner? Imeon's story, his life. Hold on.
Okay.
It was painfully similar to my own. I've been called a demon, mocked and insulted, made out to be a madman, and then locked away where no one could see me. Everyone I had thought to be on my side turned against me. You should have told me. Cracks began to form in the thick shell I spent so long building around myself. Sharp claws dug their way through the flesh of my heart, which I had thought long since numb. Thick blood seeped from within me. It was absurd. If anyone here was hurting, it was Imeon. If I had known, if I had known, I could have done something? Was that where I was going with this? That I could have told him about my own past? Could have bonded over our suffering? No, that wasn't how it would have gone. If Imeon had told me what he had been through right off, I would have seen so much of myself in him that I would have likely detested him for it. I would have wanted to get to know him better. I would have wanted to even see him.
I suspected pretty early on that you'd been through something similar. That you weren't here of your own will. And from your mannerisms, that you came from a noble family. Which is why I didn't want to say. And say. I didn't want you to think that was why I was here. I didn't stay. Because we both had tragic lives. That's not why. I found it so comfortable here. Everything about how it presented to you was of a say, which is precisely why I was able to be myself. I can tell you how wonderful it felt you to stab me? Or me?
I didn't.
You didn't have to do anything. That was enough to set me free.
I could feel sweat trailing down the back of my neck. I couldn't follow along, couldn't make sense of what he was saying. My heart was wavering, but I couldn't put any of it into words. What were you supposed to say to that? I had the first idea. And with the way I lived my life, the way I closed myself off, I never would know.
Thank you. Goodbye, Michel.
Imeon let out a long sigh, like his nerves had loosened up all at once now that he had said his piece. He then climbed to his feet using the wall for support, let out a couple muffled coughs, and started off down the hall, leaving me behind. Wait, Imeon! The shackles around my spirits were on the verge of coming off. Everything I worked so hard to bury was bubbling to the surface. The man I killed in order to survive in this empty darkness was being infused with life anew. I was opening myself up. Wait, I lied too. Or, what I said then isn't true now. I don't want you to leave anymore. I don't care if you only got a few days left. You'll last longer here than you will out there.
So, you're gonna take me in and nurse me.
Exactly. Imeon.
It's tempting, but no. Thanks.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why? The first person I ever met who I could possibly call an equal, a friend, was trying to withdraw from my life. Forever. Something inside me cracked, and something inside me formed anew. Morgana! 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 I know you're listening!
Michel.
Cure him! Please!
That's an oath, Michel.
The witch isn't just a legend. She does have a physical form, but she lives here in this mansion. And she's somewhere nearby, watching everything.
Really? It's okay.
Believe me.
I do believe you.
Imeon.
It's okay. Thank you.
Why are you so insistent on leaving? Didn't you want to talk to the witch?
I just think that's the best. I should go. Quits.
But why?
I do feel bad about this, but for what it's worth, and I'm seriously grateful to you too.
That doesn't tell me why.
Sorry. I want you to take what you're feeling right now and keep it with you.
You... what?
Seeing the person in yourself will help you see the person in someone else. And you next have the chance. Whoever that is, you take him by the hand and get out of here. Go somewhere you both want to be. You may not find paradise, but you will have a life.
What on earth are you talking about?
Fat's legs. I can't even think that I'm a cook anymore.
Imeon,
Oh, look.
wait!
Michel. I think we made pretty good friends. Don't you?
With that, he marched off down the dark hallway. It was almost unbelievable how sure-footed he seemed compared to only a few moments earlier, and then realized what it was. His final show of self-confidence. I could have easily caught up to him, but my feet seemed to be rooted to the ground. Maybe because I knew that even if I stopped him, it wouldn't stop me from losing him. Because anything I did would amount to nothing. I slowly dropped to my knees. The candlestick spilled from my hand, the flame flickering out, a heavy darkness draping the hallway. I covered my face with a sharp, bitter groan. I had lived here less than a month. We barely knew each other well enough to call ourselves acquaintances, never mind friends. There was no reason for me to be feeling this emptiness. But telling myself that didn't make the pain go away. The pain of having something dear snatched away from you. A pain I'd never ever wanted to have to experience again. I thought I could hear the witch cackling, whispering that opening myself up only made me vulnerable. That bringing that dying man to my house was only ever going to leave me feeling all the more lonely. That I always belong in darkness, not light.
Thank God I left the bar off. I barely got enough in me to push the door open.
Is that how you really want to do this?
Oh, it's you. Well, call me surprised. I didn't figure you'd be financial.
I'm here to see you off for him.
You mean you decided to get more entertainment out of it? A girl with long, braided hair stood before me. A smile spread across her lips. Her form was vague, almost a silhouette, and I couldn't make out any details. But I still knew exactly who she was. This wasn't my first encounter with the witch, after all. I had been able to see her and hear her voice since shortly after arriving at the mansion. When I told Michael that I believed she existed, I wasn't just saying it, I knew.
You're quite the seasoned liar. Making out like you're coming clean. And then replacing one set of lies with another. You can still go back and make it right. Tell him the truth, and you'll have my wish. Think about it, my dear.
A few days after taking up lodging at the mansion, the witch appeared before me. She spoke in a pretty but almost childlike voice, explaining how unusual it was that I could see her, because evidently
no one with a trace of hope in their heart is capable of seeing me. They can't hear my voice or even sense my presence. The despair that coursed through Michel is what served as the catalyst for my resurrection. You're not here to be healed. You want to put a curse on someone, don't you?
That's right.
Your eyes don't lie.
I'm honestly kind of floored right now. First, the Witch of Legend is real. And secondly, she's not even a human.
A mortal could neither cause miracles nor cast curses.
Fair enough. So how do you know what I really wanted?
It was obvious, my dear. All that murky filth swirling beneath your smiling visage is like a window directly into your soul.
Sounds like there's no hiding anything for you. So, can I just rub the egg? Tell me what you at least can't hear everything I'm thinking.
And what if I can?
I would appreciate a little bit of privacy.
Fear not, my dear. I don't have the ability to read your mind, no. But you should know that the world as you living see it and the world I see are very different things. Emotions, such as your seething animosity and desire to curse, as well as fragments of your memory, are all laid bare to me. I normally wouldn't bother sparing anyone a moment of my time. I have a mission to accomplish, and I would like Michel to accompany me on the long journey to its completion. So, I don't have time to distract myself with anything else. If you were indeed nothing but a needlessly optimistic fool come in search of miracles, I would not have done anything. I would have done everything in my power to chase you out.
So I assume the fact that I'm still here means you've taken at least of an interest in me then.
Indeed. For you were broken enough to come seeking me.
Then I'll get straight to the point. I want you to guard my family. Every last of one of those damn gunniers.
What?
That's my final wish. The last thing I want from this life. I gave my whole life for my family. Sacrificed everything. And they rebelled with duration. How making me into a demon. I'm here. I'm gonna say miserable. And no one gives a rat's ass. They need to experience the living hell I had to endure. I couldn't go in peace until they have.
It would be my pleasure.
Oh, wait. Seriously?
What? Do you not believe me?
I know, I just didn't think it would be that easy.
On one condition, though. I will offer my sincerest wishes for your family's utter devastation. So long as you offer me something in return.
No, that sounds more like the witch I was expecting. So, what do you want from me? My life? A sack of gold? My resources are a bit limited, but let's hear it.
Michel's spirit.
Excuse me?
I told you I wanted Michel to accompany me on my journey. But too much of his worldly concerns remained for him to be of any use to me right now. He still racks his mind over trifling drivel.
That's don't face Michel. He has actual worries.
It's all an act. For now, that is. I want you to crush his spirit, transform him into something more fitting for my purposes. And then, I'll make your wish mine.
This sweet wit makes what you're asking the more frightening. So, how do I go about it?
Start by using your head, my dear.
It was worth a shot.
That said, I will give you a hint. You have at your disposal everything you need to become exactly what he desires most.
It didn't take long around Michel to figure out what this witch meant. There was one thing he clearly saw, and it was something I was, presently, capable of making myself into. I had everything one would need to slip through the cracks in the wall around his heart. I was on the verge of death. I didn't know a thing about him or his personal life. And I was a man. Michel seemed to have trust issues when it came to women. He had no interest in a lover or romantic partner, but a peer, a male friend. I guess that Michel had probably been subjected to countless betrayals over the years. His mother, father, siblings, loved ones, but probably never at the hand of a friend. I doubt he'd even had a real friend before. So Morgana's proposal was for me to become his friend and then betray him.
There's still time for you to go back in there and reveal everything. To see your wish to fruition. You could even ask for a miracle instead of a curse. To rid what ails you.
Don't bother. I'm not interested in any of that anymore. I'm just going to back into the forest and die. Oh no, you won't get me to go back there.
I don't understand. What on earth brought you to this decision?
I stopped caring about getting back at my family. That hatred had kept me going for so long. It was what had driven me to wander in search of the cursed mansion. I had, in service of it, feigned get friendly with Michel. Until, at some point, it stopped being fake. I had found something more valuable than petty vengeance. And I wanted to live the rest of my life and then die for that. With a bit more time, maybe I could even told him that he repelled me from such a dark place. And then, were within my power, I'd like to have done the same for him. But that was a dream beyond my reach. He would have to remain in his darkness for a while yet.
I can understand losing interest in cursing them, but you're ignoring the other part of my offer. That I could wish for a miracle. Perhaps you don't believe the curse witch can perform miracles. But you would be mistaken, my dear. In life, do you know what I was called? A saint.
Well, you're a saint with one hell of a maze trick.
My, now that was hardly called for.
I will pass on your miracle, too. I can't imagine it comes free of charge when the curse had a price. You want me to go in and tell him everything, right?
What do you have to lose? What possible reason could there be for you to hesitate?
That should be obvious, even to you. I want him to think of me as a friend. That is what he wanted, after all. A peer, a male friend. So, if I'm gonna go, I wanna go out as that.
You would give up your chance at life for something so utterly meaningless?
I don't care how stupid you think it is. I didn't have enough time to pull him out of his dark place. But if at least he remembered me as a friend, and that had some positive effect on him, however insignificant, I much preferred that to anything the witch was proposing. Just don't you go babbling once I'm gone.
I can't make any promises, my dear.
You say a word to him, and I will curse you.
My heavens, are you picking a fight with a witch? Do you honestly believe you can curse me?
You bet I can. I would, well, turn into a witch just like you. Once I'm dead.
You very well could. You have all the makings of a fine witch. But you can rest easy, my dear. I won't be saying anything to him about you. Because you're too inconsequential to be worth mentioning again.
I beg your pardon?
At the end of it all, the only one Michel truly needs is me. What he wants is a curse, and I'm the only one who can provide it. You pretended to be his friend for a few weeks, but in a year's time, that memory will have eroded away into nothing. Your death will amount to nothing. All you did was cast a light on his isolation. And sooner or later, it'll transform him into an inhuman spirit who lives only to spread curses, much like myself.
No, that I can say you're wrong about. There's more care and understanding in him than you realize. He hides it, but It's there. Don't fool yourself. The whole world isn't getting to that bad. Dear Wimps. Morgana. There was nothing left that I could do. I couldn't leave any more of a mark on him, nor could I free him from her grip. But someday, someone would appear. Man, woman, friend, lover, it didn't matter. Someone would enter his life, take him by the hand, and lead him out of this cursed mansion. Someone would drag him out of his darkness.
Well, you turned out to be quite the disappointment. Everything I once saw in your eyes has been purified away into nothingness. Mark my words, all your hopes will be in vain. And you can watch from the afterlife. Helpless as everything I said comes to pass.
And I'll be praying for the pearly gates that you're wrong.
Well, this is where we part ways then. Farewell, Naomi. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate.
Like as far as I go. And see that thing anymore. It could be worse. I feel like I've been set free. Like my shackles are pillows. I found one thing to appreciate about this disease. It gave me the one chance in my life to be myself. Michel, and not after all, you were my first friendship. My real name was Noemi Castagnier. Imeon, the name I went by, was just my first name spelled backwards. But truth be told, I was pretty fond of it. Anything else I might have come up with would probably given away my gender straight away. Nearly everything I'd told Michel was a lie. From claiming I was a guide to the story of my escape. I hadn't used my good looks to strike a maidservant into helping, but instead manipulated a manservant. But looking back on it now, it was all over. I felt like the fake me, Imeon, was more me than the real thing. I'd always felt constricted, my whole life. Nothing but barriers from the day I was born. I loved playing music, writing stories, running, riding a horse, swinging a sword, anything that gave me some sort of freedom. But I was only allowed that until I was about 10 years old. At which point, my life became training in everything I needed to be married off just a noble man. I still remember those days vividly. Sitting stone still, staring at the window while I had my portrait painted. I caught sight of a large bird taking off to fly north, watching it flap its heavenly wings. I fantasized about riding the bird off somewhere far away, to a beautiful, boundless lush land no one had ever seen before. I would found my own nation, and I would be its first citizen. I would be a land without unfair rules and customs, a land where everyone was equal. Man, woman, yo, a smile on everyone's face, and you would be free to choose who you spend your life with. There would be no nobility, and there would be no slaves. And in this land, I would finally be able to find my true self.
Kelly?
I get to be mom now. Okay. Michel. Michel? Oh, goodness. What are you doing in here?
Nellie.
Oh, Mom. Mother.
Still looking at that painting, are you?
Yes, there's something about it.
You agree with me, don't you? It's a wonderful proposition, but your brothers never seem to want to listen to me. We'll have to return the painting to the Castagniers. And after they went through all the trouble.
Indeed.
But all that aside, it's time for supper, Michel. We're celebrating Didier's return tonight, so don't you dawdle. You need to be there and show him how much you love him.
Yes, Mother. I will be right down.
Don't keep us waiting.
It's been bothering me. Why I couldn't take my eyes off the painting of the Castagnier girl. But I think I've figured it out. That forlorn look in her eyes. There was more than resignation in those eyes. A trace of longing lurked within them as well. She was looking out at a faraway world, distant not only in physical location from her own, but in time as well. A boundless dream dwelled in her heart. I found myself slipping into her place, fantasizing about that same distant land. A place where I was allowed to be myself. And if, by some chance, I were able to make it there, would I find you there? Noemi?
I think we made pretty good friends, don't you?
Those were his last words before disappearing into the darkness. The time together was brief, and they knew nearly nothing of each other, so could they in fact be called friends at all? Could you be friends with someone so nearly a stranger? Didn't know where they came from, who they truly were beneath the surface. Had they known, though, were they aware of each other's inner selves, then would they have been able to become friends at all?
We made pretty good friends.
It was precisely because the two knew nothing that they were able to know one another.
Man, that was some good shit.